right, greetings everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Office Pro TV. I'm your host, Daniel Lowry, and in today's episode, well, guess what? We're back with more in our Excel 2016 Essential Series. Joining us in the studio right here, right now, and for your viewing pleasure, our good friend, Miss Vaughn Smith. Vaughn, welcome back. How's it going today?
It's great.
Yes, it is.
It's great.
Oh, you Tony the Tiger?
Yeah, I don't know why I just threw that out there. It just came out. So. But as you're saying, we're continuing on with our Essential Series, and we've been talking about modifying a workbook, or I think we did worksheets, and then we changed like column width. You're really excited about that you're like, oh, that's so easy.
That was fantastic. Thank you.
It was, yeah. So we're going to continue on with now formatting a worksheet. Now, if you think about formatting and modifying, kind of mean the same thing. We're really doing that, but I wanted to try to keep it separate because normally when I think of format, I always equate it with font and color and things like that. So that's why we wanted to go ahead and use this title. That's exactly what we're going to be covering. Things like font and color. We'll throw some alignment in there. We'll also go ahead and talk about some styles and copying some formats and different things. So if you've done this in Word or in PowerPoint, this should be very familiar. But in Excel, it goes a little bit more, I guess you could say, because we are in a tabular format of where we have cells. We're not just like selecting paragraphs and so on and so forth. So you have a whole other cell formatting that you go with. And so we will definitely be getting into that particular dialog box and talking about borders and things like that. So yes, there's borders and shading in Word, but it does act a little bit different. It's the same but different. My favorite saying. So I have a file called Format a Worksheet that I have opened already, and we have our Christmas cat sales. And we're going to start with this Meowie Christmas. Oh, not punny. So I wanted to put this off to the side because I wanted to concentrate on this particular area of the Home tab in the font group. And when you click on this drop down, it's going to drop down all of the different fonts. Now, I could talk forever about fonts and font families and font foundries, but You'll
digress.
Yes, I will.
I've been there, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't pretty. It just delves down. It's like a meat grinder.
I feel they've seen a couple of these where I'm just like, oh, let me keep talking about this and that. All right, so I'm just going to keep it here to where these are the fonts that are installed on your computer. Now, the thing is, if you see different fonts than what I have listed, well, then you have other fonts installed on your computer. So it does go a little bit deeper than just the program level as to what you have either purchased, or maybe you have the Adobe Suite or some other type of software that is adding other fonts to it, or you've downloaded some free fonts, or you've purchased fonts. See, I'm already starting to digress a little bit right here, but this is your choice. This is your list, so pick from it. You also have your hover to discover and your previewing of your text. I guess I should back up slightly in the sense of like you do need to select to effect. You need to have the cell or cells selected before you come over to affect it. So that would be step one. And then if I hover over this, you can see that the font is changing right there in real time, to be able to see like what does it look like in Berlin Sans, which is a font that I usually like to pick, and usually I don't really want to go past the B's because like there's so many of them, so we'll pick right here. Maybe a good Comic Sans would be good too. You know?
Bauhaus 93.
Oh yeah, you want to do that one?
Sure.
All right, where is that?
It's up.
Okay.
B-A-U.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Like, wow. Okay. B-A. Remember your skills.
That's right.
So we have our font here, and then the box right next to it, that would be our font size. We could drop this down, and we have our different integers, or increments, I should say, of our fonts. So we could go ahead and hover over these to see how big these different fonts are. Well, let's go with 24. Now, if you really wanted it to be 23.5, you can type that in. So you don't have these as your only choices for typing in fonts, but you would have to click in here and type in 23.5. I would just hit the tab key to accept that. So you do have these like half sizes, if you want to say, and go from there. Now the next little buttons, these are just your, I call them the bumpy buttons because it's just going to bump you up in those different increments to where I can kind of bump it up. Now notice that I can make it bigger, but it's like, oh, well, I can't really see it anymore. That's where you can change your row height. We talked about this in our other episode, to where you can come over between the 1 and the 2 and then just go ahead and make that row higher so you can be able to see all of this text. But for now, we're just going to bump it down a little bit. And 28, that sounds good. We'll keep on moving. Let's go to the next buttons down here in this group. We have our bold, italic, and our underline. Control B, Control I, Control U. You could also come into your double underline. Now this is different than your borders. So let me show you like the double underline. See where the lines go? They're actually going under the text, not the border of the cell. So there are two different things going on with that. And I'm going to just take the underline off. Just like if you had put on a B or an I, a lot of times people are like, how do I unbold something? Well, there's no unbold button.
Yeah.
It's like a light switch. You either have the bold on or you have the bold off.
That's a really good way of putting it, because you're right. Everybody's looking for an unbold, but it's not that. It's either affected or it's not. It's on or it's off.
And that's what that little kind of gray box is over that U right there, is saying that the underline is on. So now we need to take it off. You just click it again, and it turns it off. Okay, it's a very simple thing, but it's one of those I can see why people overlook it and say like, oh, well that makes sense. Yeah, so that's why I started using the on and off reference. Well, I guess the light bulb thing. And I did have a roommate in college that it wasn't like turn off the lights, turn on the lights. It was close the lights and open the lights, because
that's interesting.
Because English wasn't her first language, and Greek was her first language, and how it like translated it translates to close. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, she would always like close the lights. I'm like, oh. But then I started using it because I just thought it was so
You're
cool.
looking for a pair of shutters, you're like, curtains or something? Oh.
Yeah, so I thought that was fun. So again, I digress. So we're coming back over here. Let's move over to the fill color. So this is going to fill in the cell. Notice that if I select this like blue or this yellow, it's only filling in that one cell because there's no information next to column N. That's why I don't see everything kind of cut off. So that's the whole idea of like, where does the information live in the cell? That is our cell color. Then the text color over here, we could go ahead and pick whatever color you want from there. And now why is that not selecting? Oh, there. Okay, that's a little strange. Do you see how it's not?
I do.
But then it applies on.
Very funny.
Sorry,
maybe because you just have that one cell selected.
Yeah, but that was weird, and that I just got finished saying how like all the information lives in that cell. Meowie Christmas is in that one, so I was like, what's going on there? I think we'll blame our virtual.
It's funny. So the C character in Christmas is actually barely making it into the M cell.
Right.
And if you look really closely, you can see that it is affecting the color of it, or it was a second ago.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, there it is.
You can see it.
Just barely.
I totally see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's a little strange, I will say. I will blame it on the virtual machine. I don't know what I'm going to blame it on. I'm just going to blame it on something.
Sounds good.
But you can see that it is taking the whole text of that cell when you apply it. It's just that weird kind of hovering thing. That's one of those things, maybe you like close it, turn it, open the whole program back up, and it might fix the whole like turning it on, turning it off again. That a nice good restart might help that. So we're just gonna do the hand wave and say,
pay no attention to that.
Not sure what just happened. That's okay. So those are the different things you can do with your font and your size and the color and things like that. Let's move on to borders. Now this is the one that it can get a little weird if you're not fully paying attention to what's going on. I guess that's the same in anything that we do in any of these programs. So let's take this cell particularly right here. And now you can see that you have a borders button. And you do have to have the cell or cells selected. Maybe we'll actually select these over here. We're going to select a group of them. And if I drop this down, we have different like bottom borders, top borders, left, right. You can read all those ones down there. So maybe I'll go with bottom borders. Now I have multiple cells selected here. So if I click that, Like, well, that didn't do anything. Now, why didn't that work? Why didn't it do bottom borders? Well, it did. You just can't see it, especially if it's just black. And it's not doing the bottom borders of all of the cells selected. It's like within this range, I'm only going to put a bottom border. So be kind of aware of what is actually being formatted. Now, if I did all borders, then it's going to do, well, all borders there. If I don't want any borders on there, then I can choose no borders, and so on and so forth. And there's lots of different options that you have here. So like if I selected, let's say, all of these cells right here, and I come into the borders, and I choose the bottom border, it's going to apply for all of those because there wasn't anything like on top of it. But there's some other things that you could do with selecting certain borders. Like I want to have all the bottom borders, or I want just the middle border, or you know what, it might be easier if I could just draw my borders. There's a lot of different things that you can do in how you apply the border setting. So let's drop this down, because there's a couple of things down here of like, well, maybe I want to change the color. Maybe I want to change the style in here to have dotteds and everything. And this is where it gets a little, let's say, backwards.
Okay.
I'm going to select this. So I'm thinking, all right, let me drop this down, and I've chosen the bottom, and then I come back to here, and I come over here to line color, and I'm going to make it red, and then it's like that. Why didn't it make it red? Because that's how you do it in Word, and that's where I'm kind of used to. It's like, okay, here it applies to what I have selected. Well, as soon as you start changing those options there, look what my mouse cursor look like.
Looks like a pencil.
It does. It's kind of like you're saying, oh, you want a different color? I'm going to then pull out the crayon, and then you're going to have to draw where you want the border. So it's a little different. And that's why I say it's backwards than what I'm used to it in Word of just choose the drop down, choose the size, choose the font, or choose the color, choose the type, and then choose the width. Not here. It goes to the drawing the border icon right there. And if I drop this down, you see how that draw border, it's like it's on, it's activated. And as long as you know that that's what it's going to do, this is where it actually can be a little easier now. So I'm going to say, all right, well, let me just take this and click, hold, and drag across. And now I've got that. Maybe I want to put red bottom borders here. And then just for fun, might I go over here? Okay, now we're starting to get a little crazy. And okay, can we stop? It's like you have to put the pencil away. You got to turn the draw border button off. So you come over here, just turn it off. So you click it, and now you're back to the big white plus sign to where you can go ahead and start selecting cells and so on and so forth. So it's like, okay. So you choose the different options you have from down here, like the line color and the line style. Then it gives you that pencil, and then you draw the borders from there. But if you want to be a little bit, I don't want to say more precise, but just having more things in there, more options, let's select these cells right here, just for fun. We can go into the more borders options, or you can go into this little button that is right here, which is the dialog box launcher button, or the more button, or you can also go to format cells. There's so many different ways you can get there. It's kind of ridiculous. But since we're talking about it, let's do more borders. And here we are, format cells dialog box. This is a place where we're going to be hanging out for a couple episodes and a bunch of different things that you can do. Like we had just gotten through doing the font and everything. There's a whole font tab. This is just the same in Word, where if you wanted to go into the font dialog box, you can get more options. The only other options you have for fonts would be in like the superscript and the subscript and the strike through, as opposed to Word, that is. But we're talking about the border here. And we have our cells selected, and this is where you can choose each one of the different options individually. Notice there's this none, there's outline, inside, and then all these different buttons in between. But you do need to make sure that whatever you want to be applied lives over in this box, otherwise it doesn't work. Because I'll do this all the time. I'll say, oh, okay, I want to go ahead and make it yellow and make it like a thicker border, and then I'm like, I'm just assuming that it knows that I want to have all the inside and outside borders. I click OK. I'm like, oh, I forgot. There's a whole process to this. So let's get back into there. So you choose like the style. You choose the color. We'll go with orange. Maybe this orange because that's a little prettier. And then you say, all right, let's go ahead and just click this line right here, or this line, and see how I can choose, maybe not that one, click off here, put that one in. I don't want that one on, so let's go ahead and take that one off. So you can click these different buttons to where I want certain parts of these cell borders to turn on. Now this one has like the outside and the insides, and then you can turn off different pieces. So you want to start from the top and go down, you want to go ahead and go from the bottom and go up, or just pick which ones you want. This is how you will control it, and as long as it shows right here in this box as to what you want everything to look like, and then you click OK, that's how I can go ahead and get those borders in. So make sure you have those steps involved. And so I like the Format Cells dialog box for the borders because I can kind of control it. I can get a little crazy when you get the Draw Borders button on. I mean, I went a little overboard on this one, but you can see
your crayon puked on the screen there.
Right. It can get a little wonky right there. Now, before we get too far talking about going a little overboard, right? I've really messed this up, right? I need to
It's a work in progress.
Right? This is for demonstration purposes.
Postmodern art.
So clear formats. There's something to say about just using the delete key on the keyboard versus using the clear all or clear formats on the home tab over here where it says clear. For example, if I selected, let's just say these couple cells right here, and I hit the delete key, you're deleting the content, but you can even see it right there. Like all of the formats that were attached to the cell stay. So, and I've gotten that so many different times. I think we talked about this when we were like inputting in data. It's like, why is this like turning into a date? Why is this doing some weird thing? Well, because it's remembering whatever format that it was there. So if you wanted to not just clear out the contents, you want to clear out everything or just the formatting, you have that button right there. See, clear all means format and content. If I just choose formats, then it's just going to go ahead and give me the text. But take notice on this one. What did it do to those cells? It took out the merged cells too. When it says all formats, it means all formats. The merging, the alignment, the number formats. Even though we haven't covered number formats in the sequential order, the next episode we do talk about number formats, so that's going to get rid of it too. So it's like a strip all. You're only going to get the text, which can be good and bad. You have to kind of weigh it out of like, well, I didn't really want to get rid of the merge, but I really wanted to get rid of all the other formats. So then you can just go back and remerge it if you need to. But I figured we can take this, since we don't really have any number formats going on these cells, you know what, we could go ahead and just select all and clear out everything, and then we can get rid of, oh, I didn't want to get rid of the contents, I'm sorry. I wanted to get rid of the formats. There we go. And then we could go back and remerge our cells. So do understand about the clearing versus just deleting the contents. Let's talk about copying formats. Let's take this guy right here, fill it in with yellow and green. Oh, this is like USF colors. That's where I went to school. Go Bulls. And then we're going to take that. It was a little bit darker of a green. So I've got that, and we'll make it Arial black. So this is formatting on this particular cell. I want this to be copied over to, say, this cell and some other cells in there. The formats, not the content. So we're not doing Control-C, Control-V. What we can do is use what's called the Format Painter. The Format Painter paints formats. And it's just like painting a house. And you have a can of paint, right? You take the brush and you dip the brush into the can, and then you come over here and you paint on the walls. So whatever's in the can gets put on the walls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's
the idea.
Yeah. Or I mean, don't kick the can over because then it spills everywhere. I've never done that.
Stepped in the roller thing one time. Was walking around like, what's going on? Oh.
Yeah.
Little footprints all over the place. That was awesome.
I've done that one too. So I actually did knock over the entire paint can.
That's excellent.
I was like, ooh, that was not a good time. No. So I've got here. It's the same idea to where I have the paint can here. I've got a brush up here, and so you select the cell, and the nice thing is you have your list here. Select the content, the format you like, click the Format Painter. If I single click it, look at my cursor, looks like a little paint brush, and then I select the cell that I want. yay. They're just like we just talked about. But what about those like spray guns? You know,
Yes.
I've never got. One-time thing. If I want to say take this particular formatting and paint it everywhere, you double click the format painter and then you've got that spray gun basically. So if I double click, I've kind of like activated it, and then I can click here and I can click here and here and here. But probably like something I would do, I'd be like, oh gosh, here I'm going crazy, right? I'm going all over the place. So you got to stop the gun, you got to turn it off. So then when you're done using that format painter, you come up and just turn it off, and now you don't have that initiated, if you want to say, or activated. So, but this is really handy, and the format painter is in all of your products. So this works in Word, this works in PowerPoint. It's a lot of fun. So I really like that. And then one other one that I wanted to show you. Let's do our handy dandy Control Z.
It does work well, doesn't it?
Right? It is a beautiful thing. So I want to take this. You can also use the fill handle, because we talked about using the fill handle for filling in series, and the whole job of that is to copy, and then we could change that and change to the weekdays and all that kind of fun stuff. Well, the same thing can be done for your fill in with formats. So if I take this, get the black plus sign, our little fill handle, click, hold, and drag down, now it's like, ooh, I didn't want to do that. Now this is that indicating or activating that special list that we have here. Our good old trusty smart tag, if I click on this smart tag, I don't want to fill series, I don't even want to copy the cells, I just want to fill with formatting only. Oh, that's pretty cool. So if I click on that, there you go. So now it's changing and just using any format, and this can be for number formats as well, because I separated that out into 2 episodes, but it is a format for your cells, and so you could go ahead and use those different ways of copying that particular format. Now, I do have more to talk about, but you are giving me that little signal of like, hey, I think we need to kind of wrap this particular episode up.
Giving it the let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's wrap that up.
Come on, let's go. So we'll be back for some cell alignments, and then we'll talk about styles and themes, which I love to talk about, but I'll keep it brief for you.
All right. Well, Vaughn, thanks so much for getting us so far. We do thank you good folks out there for watching. Definitely come back for the part 2 and see what we can do with all the lovely bells and whistles that Vaughn shows us how to turn on and do cool stuff with our Excel worksheets. Very cool stuff. Thanks, Vaughn, so much for that. We do thank you for watching, but we're going to go ahead and sign off for Office Pro TV. I've been your host, Daniel Lowry.
And I'm Vaughn Smith.
And we'll see you next time.